Hello, is there anybody out there? Any listeners? We're back.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Talking Elvis. Anybody interested? We're still here.
First of all, I plead innocent of all charges.
You're listening to Talking Elvis with Vince Wright and Ian Gray.
Hello and welcome back to Talking Elvis. I'm Ian Gray and he's
Vince Wright.
We're back, baby.
We've had a bit of a breather.
A bit of a breather. It's been months and months, hasn't it? When was the last time we did it? Was it something like, I don't know, September of 2022 or something like
saying
that?
Saying we're going to be back regular honest.
Yeah.
And
then we went off and worked. And
then we did 12 to life.
So yes. So how are you? You've been busy, man.
I've been a very busy bunny.
You have.
I have indeed.
You've got public, haven't you?
I am. I'm up there now with the likes of Shakespeare and J.R. Hartley.
You are indeed, and there is a queue forming as we speak around the British Library in London, isn't there? So
I was sitting in the what's it called, O'Neill's opposite the other day, looking out the window, and I was thinking, my book's in there.
What? You've written the book? Explain all, Vince. That's what it says here, anyway. So
yeah, that's it. I wrote it. Yeah.
You wrote a book.
Wow. Do you remember we did a podcast many moons ago about me and 8mm film?
Yeah.
Well, the book finally came out, didn't it?
Wow.
And even you bought one, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, you wouldn't even give me one. I had to buy it.
Yeah. Well, I got to pay the bills, haven't I? So yes, I'd written this book. It's one I'd always wanted to do ever since the late 80s, really. That I wished. Well, I didn't wish that I'd written it. I wish somebody else would do it. And then when I realised halfway through lockdown, no bugger had ever written it, I thought, well, here we go. I've got to do it.
You got fed up of waiting.
Yeah.
I thought, I want to buy a book and read a book that I like. So you wrote it. So you in your style. Well done.
Yeah, it's a lovely little hardback, 150 odd page glossy colour with a bookmark. I don't know why, but everybody seems to like that bit. If you don't know anything about the hobby, it tells you. So I've aimed it at both markets.
Well, what we aim to do, as in our this is our own comeback special, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is,
boing.
What we are hoping to do is we're going to look at your book, aren't we? We're going to read your book. I'm going to read your book. I'm going to do it critically, and we'll. That's one of the future programs. So we'll review.
If you want to buy your own, so you can join in with us, just pop along to www.8mmElvis, that's 8mm as in metric, 8mmElvis.com.
There you go. So there's the what should we say, the hook, if you like, and now people are going to flood out and to buy it. So go to 8mmElvis.com and you'll find a splendid book, and you'll hear us talking about it in the next episode or two.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's about a bit of promo at the way. There's also coming up as well. We've got there was a comic book that came out last year, which I'm quite into at the moment. You know, comic books. I've just bought some rarities in the DC world. So, but that's enough of that. I have, yes.
Oh, blimey!
I've been in touch with a couple of sellers, and I've. So maybe that's a subject that we can look at in future.
I'm definitely intrigued about that one.
In the same style, there's an Elvis comic book coming out, so we're going to review that as well. We're going to try and do. You remember we used to do top fives of various things, didn't we?
Top fives. We've done some really interesting ones there. We had things like, if you look back at our list of shows, the top 5 co-star, male, female, child, dog, animal, our favourites. This, that, and the other, and they always caused great debate, didn't they?
They did indeed, and none more so than what do we think Elvis's 5 worst songs are? Because we managed to come up with 10 different ones between us. Yes, and I was listening to that episode actually last week. It's something like number 20 or something, or number 18 or 19, something like that, and it made me smile. It was really funny.
and this is, if you are new to us, and I know that I've seen a lot of of new names popping up on the Facebook page and everything. We're not just, two guys that go, Elvis was great, Elvis did no wrong. We like to think of this show as two guys down the boozer, putting the world to right, and mostly it'll be the Elvis world in our conversations.
Basically, what we've done, we've just committed all this to record, haven't we? So
yeah.
So if you want to go back to the Talking Elvis, you can find it on the website, which is Vince.
www.talkingelvis.co.uk,
and also on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to them all up there, catch up on them. There's some fine stuff on there. We've done, we covered our trip to Denmark to see the Memphis Mansion. We've done memorabilia, covered Elvis events that we went to over the years, Elvis books, publications. We've done interviews. I'll ask some of the interviews that I've heard in
we've
the last
been really
couple of
lucky
days.
with
Has been
who we got on interviews.
Yeah.
And we know that there's a lot of other podcasts out there, and a lot of the same people do the rounds for all of them. So we've tried to find different people or for a different angle. And I think we've got a few more, haven't we? We've just had a couple of emails in, so I think that's future ones as well. We've got some people out the woodwork to come and talk to us.
Yeah, we've had authors of books like Joe Schumann, Matt Shepard. We've had Carl Magnus Palm, who is a Swedish singer and producer, which was really good and something you didn't expect to hear.
That was our ABBA special.
Oh,
if you don't know why, listen to it.
Have a listen to that one. Go back and listen to that one. Ashley Drew, who was like a stalker of Memphis, that was quite entertaining. I was listening to a fantastic young lady. Only on the way home early this morning, called Olivia Murphy, who you spoke to. She was in Ohio. She went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, didn't she?
She was our roving reporter that day.
Yeah, we enjoyed that one. David English, who wrote the "That's the Way It Is" book that went with the set that came out last year, which was spectacular. So yeah, we've talked to a load of people. So we've got a few more coming up as well in the future. If you've got any ideas of who you'd like us to talk to, or if you would like to talk to us, there's another thing. If you would like to talk to us, get in touch on the Facebook page Talking Elvis or via the website www.talkingelvis.co.uk. So yeah, happy with all that.
This is Henrik Knudsen from the Memphis Mansion in Randers, Denmark, and you are listening to the Talking Elvis podcast.
I'm worn out just listening to you.
I'll tell you what, I have been busy. I've been researching, I've been listening, I've been writing. I've got bits of paper all over the place here, and it's been absolutely wonderful. It's almost like I'm back in the groove again. So
this is kind of it, isn't it? I think we gave up a little bit because my book kind of took over my life, but you do get a bit stale trying to find content, don't you?
It was difficult trying to keep it fresh.
Redo your batteries.
Yeah, absolutely. It was because we were doing a weekly show, weren't we? And that ground to a halt. There's circumstances and stuff that went on, but then we started doing sort of monthly or 3 or 4 weekly, and it was just hard work, wasn't it? So, we started out doing this for our own enjoyment and to hopefully put a smile on other people's faces, and we weren't enjoying it that much because it turned out to be work, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean we've got probably 2, maybe 3 shows in the can that we weren't happy with.
Absolutely.
We just said no, that's not our standard. We won't put that out.
So I don't know how many shows there were. There was something like 40 odd shows, but don't listen to the last 2, and you'll be all right.
No, the last 2 are all right. It's probably the one before that peaked of.
You could look back. You could look back at them in future years. That's when they went to pieces.
Yeah.
It's like when did Elvis start going to pieces? 73, 74, 75. You could see the signs then.
The great debate. Now that's another one for it. I mean, if there was a running theme through a lot of the old shows, where I had a dream, right? And I wanted to do a podcast show discussing the merits of ETAs, tribute artists, because I don't get it. I'm not saying they should be shot, electrocuted maybe, but
not these days. You've seen the price of electric.
Keep peddling, Ian. Keep peddling. We got a live one here.
You've lost a train now, haven't you? Go on.
I really have. Yeah. So I wanted to do a great debate on this. Now I don't just want somebody going, "Oh, you've got to see him. He's the best. He's just like him." I know people are going to say he's the best, he's the best, he's the best, but I still want your input to do a show of tell me why it works, because I don't get it. I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not going to swear at you. I just need some convincing, and I would still love to do that show in the future. If I can get people not just to go, "You're wrong, Vince, I'm right, clear off," but to actually have a debate.
Yeah, this was a recurring theme throughout a lot of our shows that we said we must keep doing this, we must do this, we must do this, and we never did, not properly. I mean, you had a
So
chat with
we
Olivia.
never really got the input, because all I seemed to get was people going, "Oh, but if you've seen Fred Bloggs, he's just like him," and
Yeah.
you're going, "Yeah, but what is it? You know, he doesn't. What's the chances of you looking like and sounding like somebody who's a complete original?" That bit baffles me. But right in it not just because you want to earn some money down the Red Lion on a Saturday night, going, "I do a bit myself," you know. But I really would like some people to come and have a proper chat about this and convince me why.
Okay, well, we're writing this down on the list of things to do, and we've got a growing list actually, which is good for you folks as well, because we're going to start enjoying doing this once more. So we've got lots of things coming up, which really excited, really excited. So yes, so welcome back. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be behind a microphone once again. So should we just catch up on the news? There's been a lot of news, hasn't there, since we were last broadcasting. On 12th of January earlier this year, sadly, Lisa Marie Presley passed away. Just 2 days after her appearance at the Golden Globe Awards in Beverly Hills, which was, to say it was, let's have a look. Now, it's always shocking when somebody that young dies, and she was, what, 54? But we knew she had issues and problems, don't we?
Yeah, and this is a very hard story to tell, isn't it? That's the Willie Ship piece now is kind of
Yeah.
where you go with it. You know what? When you look at her career, forget the Elvis bit. You just listen to her handful of releases.
Yeah.
They stood up on their own, didn't they?
3 superb albums. You saw various appearances by her and photographs, didn't you, after 2020? And she really didn't look good at all, did she?
It is a shame.
Such a shame.
It is. It's the Elvis story again of those around her.
Yeah.
The friends and family weren't. Where were you? You know what was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a happy topic.
No, so there's Lisa Marie Presley, and she's buried in the Meditation Garden at Graceland now, alongside her son Ben, and of course her father and grandparents as well. So that's part and parcel of the of the new thing at Graceland
yes,
now. You know,
and is there another plot waiting? Once she died, I think this is classic. You know, too much too young. The rich kid, you know, the famous from when you're born, rich kid gets screwed up. Well, you know, we've heard that story a million times, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, as it happens now, Riley Keough, Lisa's daughter, is now the sole owner of the Graceland estate, isn't she? Which is good. She gave her grandmother Priscilla $1 million as a bit of a payoff after all the legal wrangling, probably pay some legal bills and stuff. And Priscilla now does get a monthly payment in her role as advisor to Riley. So that's so this, you know.
Though, isn't it funny that sort of following that, the press releases about the new film Priscilla, and sort of the estate aren't saying this is nothing to do with us.
Every chance, because that's now this is. It's not. Is it based on Elvis and Me that Priscilla wrote in the 80s?
Yeah.
Is it?
Now
that was
we
a
had
very
that,
one-sided, wasn't it?
We had that TV mini series of it, didn't we?
We did, yes.
Of that. So this seems to be bigger budget, and it's Coppola, but not the wrong Coppola. But it's.
Well, they're probably trying to piggyback on the success of the Elvis movie, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and that
that
will
was
be,
huge.
but it will be from the Priscilla side. Um,
But the thing is, we have these days, we have more evidence of Elvis's private life, don't we? Because when Priscilla wrote the book, what was that? Around about eight, I can't remember, 86-ish,
yeah,
85,
mid
something like
mid
85, something like that. Probably a bit later. We didn't know what we know now about the whole Elvis and Priscilla, or the Elvis's lifestyle thing that we do now. It's like 40 years later, do we? So it could be a little bit different.
It
It'll still
certainly.
be it'll still be in her favour, of course it will.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll still be billed as the widow rather than the divorcee. You know,
Mm.
that they still like to get that story out. Will you go and see it?
Probably, yeah, out of morbid curiosity.
I think that's it. I mean, when it said
That's
that
if it comes out on a general release, of course.
well, yeah, well, that's a point because it doesn't have any Elvis original music in it.
Mm.
So although it's big budget, it's not crazy big budget. But then I think if they're not willing to license the music to it, um, is there content in the story that they don't want to be associated with? And if there is, I don't think we have to use our imagination too much to imagine which part of the story they'll be
Mm.
getting the most
Focusing on,
juices. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Because in the
that's a
Elvis
bit scary.
movie, Priscilla was there and she featured very heavily, but it was purely between the relationship and the breakdown of relation between those two people. It wasn't about, not really. You didn't really see much of all the stuff that was going on with it, even though it was sort of there in the background.
Yeah, and historically, she was in locations that she wasn't
Yeah,
in that film,
yeah.
because that that had the full wallop of the estate behind it, which is another one of these. Everybody's changing the Elvis story. Elvis is just becoming a product.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
I mean, loosely associated with this, I haven't seen this documentary yet, but apparently on Amazon Prime, there's a documentary called Elvis's Women. Have you seen that?
No, I read a couple of reviews about it, and I thought
Yeah.
this just sounds to me like those straight to video pound shop specials that we used to buy. Uh,
Funny
so
enough, I saw it
I
advertised on
would imagine
tabloid. Yeah,
there'll be 3 minutes of Elvis footage in it.
yeah.
But yeah, it's on Amazon. I could watch it for free. But doesn't that say a lot? You know, you've got your Amazon, you can have it for free, and you still think, no, there's better things to do in my life.
There is absolutely, isn't it? But anyway, away from all that, have you bought the latest upcoming September issue of Vanity Fair?
Oh no,
I'm a
no,
subscriber. I'm a subscriber. Oh dear. Well, you're missing out then, because there's a big spread there on Riley Keough
oh, I've
on
seen
there,
the cover.
which is all very, very
Yes,
good. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
she's got the family gene of gorgeousness, hasn't she?
Yeah, she looks good, and the thing is as well, she looks like she's well managed as well, because she's got herself a couple of decent film roles. She's not going through husbands and boyfriends like her mom did
Yeah,
every couple of years. So she, at the moment, she seems fairly stable, and if she's also sort of head of the board of trustees at the Elvis estate, then she must be sort of doing all right.
yeah. But with the estate and the more I see it turning into Disneyland, um, the less I want to go to Graceland now. It's really weird. I want to do Memphis, but I want to do Memphis.
Yeah. I must admit, I am disappointed with the Elvis Week's emphasis on ETAs. And it was all of the week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you had to pay to get into some of those events, anything from $20 to $90, which I found staggering to see an
And the
ETA.
whole competition of it, the whole
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
who is the best Elvis? Well, hands up here. I think I know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Is the one on the ground over the back there, isn't he? So
yeah, that's
yeah.
it. One of the garden.
No, no, in all fairness, the mansion and the archive and the exhibitions they're 100% Elvis, because it's all Elvis. But this entertainment going alongside it. I mean, you had some big old guests there. But Lee Majors was there because he was a mate, apparently. Dennis Quaid, another mate. Darlene Love, who sang with Elvis. Glenn Hardin, Jerry Schilling, Linda Thompson. They're all there.
Yeah, but did you see the price of having a guided tour by Linda Thompson around Graceland?
$1,000.
$1,000.
I'd have personally only charged about 800.
But but I'd love to speak to somebody who did it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we'll have to look at that. And you can see the interview with Linda Thompson from Elvis Week on YouTube now, can't you?
Yeah.
Which I was, I thought I've never been bothered about people associated with Elvis, if I'm honest,
I
apart from the
like it
family.
if they tell their story, and I do like it, but it's how much you trust, isn't it?
Yeah,
And the whole thing of the people that do talk and then the people that don't talk,
yeah,
and are the people that don't talk forced not to talk,
yeah.
or are they just going, I knew him for 10 minutes.
Isn't it funny? They
I'm
never
done.
ever invite Ginger Alden to these things, and she was with him for what, 8 months or 9 months before he
Yeah.
died.
And
Isn't that
if
funny?
you
That's strange, isn't
if
it?
you can pay £1,000 for Linda Thompson, what would you have paid for Ginger
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and
or
and what
Posh or Baby? Yeah,
and what I didn't understand either was that if you couldn't get to Memphis, you could log in and watch it virtual Elvis Week at home
yeah.
in the home, and that was $130 minimum to $225 for a gold package or something like that. And I'm thinking, this is online stuff, for crying out loud, from the other side of the world. What are they doing? How much more money do they need?
This is the thing. It's a money
To
making thing.
see, and a lot of it wasn't just to see the interviews of those people that aforementioned that I just mentioned, but it's some of it was to see the ETA shows.
But
But
this is still
crazy.
the big money, isn't it? This is still, and we learned this when we tried to put an Elvis event on, and whether people who are still doing them now, you can't fill a room with just Elvis music. You
No,
can't fill a room by showing rare footage on a screen.
no.
You've got to get Johnny in a jumpsuit in, and you have got them queuing around the block. And this is where I don't get it.
It's a case in point, isn't it? We've been to 2 afternoon shows, of seeing rare Elvis films, stuff that we saw with last, and it's all been synced up to the soundboards. Recordings that they've got and all this sort of stuff, and it's fantastically well done, and it's original film. And there was a dozen people in there, wasn't there? It's
Yeah,
like, and I thought that was just criminal, And yeah, but like you say, had old Johnny in the corner there, we probably would have had 4 or 5 times that many, which is a real
standing
shame.
room only. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's a real shame, but that's I'm afraid that's the way it's going. But if we want a bit of authenticity, coming up
oh,
in our own very backyard in London, England, we have from October the
London, baby.
20th, indeed, from October the 20th until February the 25th, the upcoming exhibition of Elvis from direct from the Graceland Archives. So
And don't tickets go on sale today?
they go on sale tomorrow, the
Tomorrow, is it?
24th of August, or yesterday if you're listening to this afterwards, or last week, depends on when
Yeah.
you're listening to this. But yeah, 24th of August, the tickets go on sale. And like I say, we've got October 20th to February the 25th. Can't wait for that.
I'm ready to book. I
Yeah.
must say, that excites me a lot more than other stuff. And I know, like when we went round Denmark, it's just great to see things that you haven't seen before, isn't it? And even if
Oh,
it is
fantastic.
somebody's hat, wig, or shoes, it's just nice to
Yeah,
go. Yeah, we'll have that. We'll
it
see
really is
that.
good. I'm really looking forward to that. Apparently, there's. I mean, I haven't seen how much the tickets are, but you can put your name down on an interest list
Yeah,
to be able to hold one of the belts or wear one of the rings or bracelets or whatever that they've got on thing there. So I don't know how much extra that's going to be, but if it's an extra 50 quid to sort of put on one of the jumpsuits, I'm having that.
oh, you're
As
weirdo.
so we'll let you know what we've done in the fullness of time. Once we've been and seen it, of course we'll review it on this very podcast as well, which would be good fun. So that's October the 20th till February the 25th, 2024. We don't know yet if it's going to be extended. When it was on at the O2 in London a few years ago, it was extended a couple of times.
And they
But this
changed
one,
product, didn't they?
they did indeed. They
And,
they had a
and I like the
star
idea of
exhibit,
that.
didn't they? Yeah, kept it fresh.
So I want to book
Uh,
early
yeah,
so that if anything comes in, I can come a second time
absolutely.
towards the end of the extension. That'd be great.
Indeed. So that'll be down by the London Bridge, which, despite reports, has not fallen down. So that's a new exhibition hall there, which we're looking forward to. We can't wait for that. What else have we had? We've had the 68's special Reinventing Elvis.
Yeah, and at the cinema. That's a clever little scoop.
It was great, wasn't it? It was on twice, wasn't it? It was on. They did
Sunday afternoon.
Coordinated showings on a Sunday, and then the following Thursday or something like that.
Yeah.
All around the UK, which is really good, and to see it on the big screen, marvelous.
Way better than I expected.
Hmm.
I was expecting a cheap and cheerful thing on that, and I like the outtakes that they used and all the bits that we know and love. They were the bits, except they didn't use Tiptoe Through the Tulips, which I would have liked to have seen in there.
Mhm.
But I really liked it. And did you stay till the end and see the
No.
outtakes?
Because there was a bit where they went through the first bit after the end of the movie. I won't tell you what the last song was. I think you could guess. So I stayed for that. Then halfway through the credits, I think I opened a wink because I thought that was it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't, and luckily I did the same. I got down the steps to the front, and my phone's dropped out of my pocket. Went back up, and got, "Hi, I'm Steve Binder," and I went, "What the?"
Oh no!
And you had another 20 minutes.
No, you didn't have another 20 minutes.
No, you didn't.
Don't tell me that. I'm crying my eyes out.
Yeah. Loved it. I liked what they did. I liked what they spoke to. Wasn't that keen on the young trendy musicians doing their bit in
They're
it.
always a little contrived, aren't they? I feel.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And there was outtakes from those in the outtakes. So not all the outtakes were Elvis the outtakes. So
right, okay.
Yeah. So you had them singing a song as well, but that was just the I Love Me Brigade, I thought.
Yeah, I believe it's gone on. It's gone onto the Paramount
Plus
channel.
Yeah,
Paramount
Plus.
If you have that, which I don't, and
A little more conversation with TalkingElvis.co.uk.
That's been a bit heavy, hasn't it?
Well, it has, but it had to be done. So yeah,
it had to be done.
Now, in other news, I do like an auction.
Oh,
do you remember?
What yacht have you bought now?
Do you remember I sort of put in a bid in for the Lisa Marie jet engine, didn't I? So
that was just after you bought the Mr. Beaumont.
I want to be Captain Beaumont. Yeah. Yes. So that was Julian's Auctions in California, right?
Yeah.
So I got myself on the mailing list because they thought I was interested in buying the Lisa Marie airplane. Wouldn't have gone on my drive, but hey, never mind. But since then, they've had more Elvis auctions because they do every now and then, and I've got 2 or 3 here which I love. And then they're not just, there was all the sorts of things like costume jewelry, signed photographs, all this sort of stuff, which we can see anyway. But the first one I saw, which made me smile, right? And you'll love this. You've probably got one yourself.
Oh no, go on.
Corduroy smoking jacket with shawl collar with 3 pockets, personally owned and worn by Elvis. A smoking jacket. You've probably got one, haven't you?
Oh, when I do my Hef impressions, yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly like that. And the official blurb is lined and trimmed with black satin at the collar, cuffs, pockets, and a sash tie.
Ribs for your pleasure.
and this won't surprise you, but the bloke who sold it was David Stanley. Obviously, he's running out of Elvis's money, and that sold for $6,400.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey!
6,400 jacket. I can just see the small Bart Simpson with his little bubble pipe going.
Yeah, the bubble pipe.
It looked just like that. It's like and another one, and this, I don't know whether to believe this one or not, but it's a little bit sad actually. It's a business card with a lock of Elvis Presley's hair taped to the front. That's going to be real, isn't it?
From one for the DNA, yeah.
70 something or other.
I mean, if you did buy it, does that mean you could clone your own Elvis? And then we wouldn't have any ETAs because we'd just clone hundreds of real ones.
Yeah, it'd be like the Clone Wars, wouldn't it? We'd have thousands of Elvises coming out of machines.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Clone Wars.
Yeah, apparently it's a lock of hair cut by Mr. Gill of Memphis. Apparently Elvis recruited him as his personal barber, probably before what's his name, Larry Geller, got hold of him.
Yeah.
And that lock of hair sold for $1,152.
So if he gave him a haircut,
yeah.
what did he do with the other 500?
Well, give it another 500, and he'll have made himself another $1,152 on each one because there's going to be some sucker around the corner all over. There is no
Absolutely. Right, I'm doing that.
So yeah, it's Julian's Auctions, by the way, California. Go and have a look. It's fantastic. This one's great. It's not even bloody Elvis's. This was a stamped leather bag used by Elvis's personal physician, Dr. Nick, to carry his
Dr. Nick.
Hello, everybody. To carry his medical equipment whilst on tour with Elvis in the 1970s.
And what is it? Just a Walmart bag?
It was like a leather bag. You know, these doctors' leather bags that they have, which open up at the top, which probably had all the drugs and the syringes in it and the packs of ice and everything, all this sort of stuff in there. that was Dr. Nick's, one of Dr. Nick's kids who sold that. $7,680.
It's like I'm skeptical of an autograph, let alone any, which you go, it looks like it doesn't look like it. Where these things you go, well, what is it? Unless unless it's a 1980s record that Elvis signed, you could probably be sure it wasn't true.
I do remember reading in probably Elvis Leo's or something like that, that somebody found some toenail clippings on the floor at Graceland when they were going round, and they believed them to be Elvis's. And some sucker bought them for about 200 quid or something like that. And this is like 4 or 5 years after the mansion had opened to the public for the first time in 1981 or something. So people believe anything.
Can you imagine that? Just the sweeper upper at Graceland, it was just had a tea break and cut the nails. And
yeah. It was a Mrs. Mott, wasn't it?
Can I do your name, sir?
So that's all mine. That's me done. So so yeah, loads of stuff like that. If you've got any stuff like this, it's going to be great stuff. We like to have a laugh when we're doing these.
Right.
Talk about the good times with Talking Elvis.
Have you looked at the Aloha from Hawaii set yet?
Not yet. How does it sound? How does it?
I haven't opened it yet. I had it yesterday. I've had it yesterday.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I've listened to a lot of people's reviews before, so I'm, I know the good, the bad, and the ugly that's going to be on it. But for me, if they've remastered it, great. But there's nothing new.
No.
And that's
we've already had the after show stuff, didn't we? So,
we've got all that, and it's like the '68 special stuff that came out.
Yeah,
we haven't suddenly got the whole of the press conference. And if we haven't got it for these releases, it's not just sitting there, is it? Because you'd have put any new press conference for a lower on here, you'd have bunged it on, wouldn't you?
There can't be anything new there. It's a 50th anniversary release.
Yeah, and that just makes you wonder, well, so where do we go? That's another topic for another show. I think that,
it is indeed.
What is the future? Because sadly, we were the young. I think when Elvis died, we were the youngsters, and we're the old uns now.
We're the ones wearing red corduroy smoking jackets.
Yeah. We'll get one of those for the next time we go to Phil's. Do stand at the bar. It is weird. So I love the idea of all these box sets coming out, and I love everything together, but I probably listen to more Elvis on Spotify than I do actually bending down and putting a CD in a player.
This is very true, especially as you can link it to your phone in the car as well. So
on my headphones on a train. It's all there, and in the car I'm singing along full blast, and it's great. But technically, where do we go with it? If everything's released, if every cough and spit and fart has been released,
let's just be happy with it. How does that sound for you? Are you still craving more? How can you still craving more? You don't know what's out there anyway. So.
No, but that's it. But the drug is, I need a new song. I need a new song, but I don't want. And that was another thing. You've got these deep fakes and AI. Well, they'll take 2 lines of Elvis singing a song and put it through the magic filter. Some bloke sings along and goes, oh, and then they match it all up. And Bob's your uncle, we've got a new song. And
Is that what you're looking for, though?
no, that is what I'm scared of being flooded with,
Yeah.
because I want the tape that's on somebody's bed, under somebody's bed, that is Elvis singing "Rock Around the Clock" and do the mess around. That's what I want. But I don't want is an album of uh, Elvis sings Bruce Springsteen, because it's all been done computer generated and weird.
But we did like Elvis Found Alive singing "Every Breath You Take," didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh no, we thought that was just funny though. But
Well, it was
is that the sort of thing you're going to get though?
That's what you're gonna get a lot of that, aren't you? Because that to me is, the estate is the ETA is the king, then the ETAs sing ABBA will be the next big thing. It'll be.
Well, they've already got the that in London, haven't they, with the ABBA show? Because you've got actors up on the stage, but to the audience they look like the members of ABBA. So you've already got it to a certain degree. So
I mean, because they can scan, because they were alive, you could scan them.
Yeah.
But this time next year, the technology will be 1,000 times better again.
Do we think that bloke singing down a pub in a jumpsuit is going to have a filter on his computer laptop to make him sound exactly like Elvis in future as well?
Yeah.
When he sings through his microphone, something else comes out.
Yeah, that's it. You just put it on the Elvis filter, and it does it, and you move it one dial along to the Tom Jones filter. I'm going to do Neil Diamond tonight. Click, click, click. Do 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 do.
No, please, no, not again, ever.
Not again. Yes.
No.
The world has had enough of it.
It has, yes, and this part of the world certainly has. Now then, another thing on my list, right? And this is an organisation that has been with us forever and ever and ever, probably since before you and me were twinkle in our parents' eyes, and that is the Elvis, the Elvis Presley Fan Club of Great Britain and formerly of the Commonwealth.
That was always a great title, wasn't it?
It really was. It is no more. There's no more fan club magazines going to be popping through your letterbox. They have gone online exclusively.
Dun dun dun.
That's made you sit back and go gulp, hasn't it?
Yeah. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's inevitable, because you can still get just the odd magazine popping through your letterbox, depending on who you subscribe to, can't you? And I think they, along with everybody else, are suffering with the fact that everybody has access to everything through the internet. So what they've done, and to be fair, if you go to the website, the Elvis Presley Fan Club of Great Britain, they've teamed up with elvistoday.com and elvisforsale.com, so two more online fan clubs, and they've linked up with them, so they've got all the links to their shops, links to their stories, links to their blogs, all this sort of thing. But the logo is there. It is Elvis Presley Fan Club of Great Britain. So that is no more magazines. That is it. You're done.
But I'm sitting on 8 million Elvis monthlies that I haven't looked at in forever. But it is such a part of my youth. The excitement of going to the newsagent to pick up my Elvis monthly, to then having the fan club mag come through the post.
And the thing is as well, you used to pay a yearly subscription for the magazine. So obviously that's gone now. So what they've done, they've created, you can have a lifelong membership of the Elvis Presley Fan Club of Great Britain for a £5. I don't know whether they're still doing that or not, but you'll have to look at the website for a £5, and that's it. That'll be the last £5 you ever give them.
And what
for a membership? I think you get a card or something like that to say you're a lifelong member of the Elvis Presley Fan Club. And that's pretty much it. Unless you buy merchandise through that website from Elvis Today or Elvis for Sale, that'll be the last money you ever give Todd and his mates. Isn't that sad? That's sad in a way, isn't it?
That is an end of an era.
It's an end of something that was very heavily featured in our Elvis lives, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, thinking about it, if I got every check stub and every postal order that I'd ever written, how many of them went to Henna Records?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Henor or however you said it. But that is it. You know, that magazine would come in, and you'd go, "Oh, blimey, I can get the import of this album. Oh, it's 4.49. I'll save me pennies and I'll send
Yeah,
off the back."
absolutely. Yeah. And we did pay by check, and it was all trustworthy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. It was
So
absolutely.
fantastic. So, but you can still listen to Todd Slaughter on Radio Caroline on the Elvis Hour. There's a couple of shows on the website that you can catch up on. And yes, he still sounds like he's broadcasting from inside a cardboard box.
And
So some things will stay the same.
if you're not sure who Todd Slaughter is, and you don't know who we're on about, go and watch Elvis in concert.
Yes, indeed.
There
Yes,
he
not
is, the man himself.
there he is. Yeah, and he's also he wrote a book a couple of years ago, which he kindly signed for me. That was very nice
Oh
of him.
yes, I've got that. Still haven't
So yeah,
read it.
did he sign yours?
Uh, no, I think I signed it because I'd sign anything now. I will. Right.
Yeah, he signed mine for me. Also, or we got a minion to do it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that's so. There we go, and the end, as they say. And there we go. So the end of the comeback special for Talking Elvis.
We're back, and we're hopefully going to bring some silliness to you, some facts, and some interviews. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you want, and I'm happy to chat online with anybody. So get yourself here, and by the way, if you didn't know, I've written a book. It's called 8 Mil Elvis, and it's available at www.8milelvis.com.
Well done, and it really is. Now, I'm not just saying this. Buy it; it's great. So we'll do a review on it anyway. But buy it; you won't be disappointed. I promise you that. So yes, we sadly we had to cover the news about Lisa Marie, but that's gone. It's done. It's finished. So we're going to be up and at 'em all over again. We're gonna. I think we're gonna. Should we ease ourselves in the next broadcast and maybe chuck in a top 5? But we're not going to tell you what top 5
Oh yes,
just yet.
yes.
Just to get us
I've got
back
an
into the
idea,
spirit of
so I'll
things.
tell
What do
you
you reckon?
after. Yes,
Oh well, hold on, lads.
got
I've
a
got an
cracking
idea.
Oh yes.
So yes, well, thank you very much for listening again. Go and have a listen to the old episodes. You'll enjoy those because I have been listening to them over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they've been wonderful. So and they're genuinely good stuff, genuinely funny as well. So go and have a listen to them, and then you can carry on listening to us, Elvis, Talking Elvis, the reboot. Here we go. Come on,
The reboot. Thank you very much. I'll do.
that'll do nicely. Yeah.
Find us at www.talkingelvis.co.uk or Facebook or YouTube or Spotify. In fact, any place you get your podcasts.